The policy community idea gave one version of that, because it tended to think in very concrete spatial terms of the community as having a centre and a periphery. And so the idea was to be able to try to identify the organisations that were at the centre of the policy community, who really mattered, who had day-to-day interaction with each other and with the decision makers. So again, in all versions of the policy community idea, a key idea, in fact, is that policy communities are composed of both state and non-state actors.
Yeah, most of the problems are no longer public problems anymore. The problems we're trying to address are common pool problems. And the state is not necessarily the best or the only actor, certainly not the only actor, and not even necessarily the best actor to organize common pools and communities to solve their own problems. It's a blunt instrument. It tends to have a high degree of homogeneity across geographies and across problem spaces, and yet communities are all unique. They have their own cultures, their own histories, their own set of unique constraints. And so this is a perennial problem in all federal systems. Regional and local governments rail at the higher order government, saying your program doesn't work for us. And that's the problem of top-down, we have the answer, just do it. Because quite often it's a poor fit with the actual contextualized problems that people are trying to address.
So we have the political executive in there, we have the public service in some of its parts, but we also have key interest groups, key lobbyists, key organizations, even sometimes key NGOs, who are part of that core part of the policy community. So trying to work out their interactions is usually done in the policy community idea by trying to work out how close they are to the centre of the community. And there are even maps that have been done, mapping exercises. They were known as bubble diagrams in their early versions, because the different groups appeared as bubbles of different sizes, and they were closer or further away from the physical centre of a circular looking policy community, and so on. So that's one way of thinking about the relationship. As an analyst, for example, you might ask in that way of thinking about things, where am I in relation to these other actors? Am I closer to the centre? Am I further away? Am I in an organisation that's likely to be consulted by the decision makers, or going to be part of their larger worldview, or whatever it may be? In an attempt to get away from that rather simplistic version of the bubble inside and everybody outside existing in their own little space and so on, there's the network idea. Network analysis provides a powerful tool to look at interactions between groups and individuals in the policy making process. We can talk, for example, about centrality in networks, and in a very mathematical kind of way, we can investigate who really is in the centre of networks in connection in terms of the inlinks that go to that person or that organisation in a network. We can talk about the density of the links in a network. To what extent is every actor connected to everybody else, or are there some actors who may be individuals, or they may be organisations who are connected to very few? What's the balance between inlinks and outlinks between people? So we can start to think of the policy process or the actors in a policy process as a network that shares information, or actually withholds information, or tries to manage the flow of information around a network. Who's an insider who I should share this with? Who's an outsider whom I shouldn't share this with? Am I actually interested in just trying to get a smooth and transparent flow of information all the way around a network? Or am I actually trying to keep some people in the know and some people in the dark?